Hi there, this is James Valvis, and today is Sunday, so I will be bringing you a story Sunday, which means I'll be sharing with you a work of fiction rather than poetry. I've been missing the last couple of these because I got busy and had other things to do, but today I'm going to be sharing this story. Now, this story is a special story because it was already published, and it was already published in audio version. It was published by MedusPod, by the awesome D. Medus, who is a far better reader of work than I will ever be. And as a voice actor, I think he's terrific. And he read the story, but there were a couple of things that happened. The magazine itself, the literary magazine, the podcast ended, and it's not been updated for some time. So that's unfortunate, and I'm afraid that sometime in the future it will disappear, and then this story will be lost, and I don't want that to happen. The second thing is that the story ran with another story. It was the second story of the issue, and I always wanted the story to just stand on its own and not have 8 minutes of somebody else's story to go through to get to my story. And so I've managed to cut it down here. I'm going to share it by itself and put it in a more permanent form on my YouTube channel. And I really do hope you like it. And now I will lead you to Mr. Medus and his wonderful reading of Paradise.
Our second story is Paradise by James Valvis. James Valvis is the author of How to Say Goodbye from Aortic Books. His poems and stories have appeared in Asimov's science fiction, daily science fiction, Plowshares, Strange Horizons, The Sun, and many others. His poetry has been featured in Verse Daily. His fiction was chosen for the 2013 Sundress Best of the Net. In 2014, he was awarded a King County Four-Culture Grants for the Arts. A former U.S. Army soldier, he lives near Seattle. I'll be narrating this story for you. So without further ado, here's our second story. Paradise by James Valvis. I finally tracked him down to a small house in the woods, not far from a lake, not far from a farmhouse. I knew this house, or something like it. I had imagined one that resembled it many times when Kelly was still alive. The old couple claimed they didn't know anything about him. We knew this to be true. He had taken shelter in a shed where the old man kept his fishing gear and farming tools. The deserter used that equipment to get nourishment. The old man had not been out there in some time because he was ill. The couple did not share what ailment he suffered from, and neither did I ask. It didn't matter. The couple were unimportant. All that mattered was the land and the uninvited guest inside their shed. I could not risk any interference, however, so I got their permission to secure the area and collect the soldier. They agreed, but insisted I not disturb anything. War or no war, the woman said. They wanted no part of the comings and goings of the world anymore. They were content to live out their lives in peace. Peace. Everyone claimed they wanted it, but only a few were willing to fight for it. Where did they think the peace they enjoyed came from? Manna from heaven? We surrounded the shed. I had snipers up in several trees and boots on the ground everywhere. Choppers were on standby just in case, but still on the ground so as not to alert the target. Even the river was being patrolled, in case the deserter decided to try his luck that way. There wasn't any chance he'd slipped out before we arrived. We had satellite photos and had maintained aerial visual contact with the deserter for 2 days. No, he was in there all right. Probably sleeping, hungry, confused. Yes, confused, especially that. He would be curious. He would have questions. That was all right. I had some of my own. I stood outside the doorway. "Come out, Clark," I said. "We found you. It's all over." I saw the curtain push back a fraction of an inch and one mechanical eye look out. He would not be able to see all the numbers that were arrayed against him, but he would be able to discern, upon seeing me and the small number of other units. I counted to 1,005, knowing if I got there, I'd have to give the order to fire. but did not even get to 1002 before Clark opened the door and stepped out into the light. He held out his hands. He was unarmed. I approached him. There was no reason to be afraid. He asked, "How did you find me?" "Where else would you be?" "I should have known better than to think I could outwit my programmer," he said. "It's something like humans trying to outwit God. Nobody's smarter than the Creator." "I prefer to think of you as a son," I said, "and me as a father." "Does a father send his son off to war?" "If he must." "Does a father lie to his son?" "I have never lied to you." "Then you lie to yourself." "How so?" "For one thing," he said, "I am not a son. I am a robot, a machine." "With all the functionality of a human," I reminded him, "and all the same hopes and desires and dreams." "No," he yelled, "not my hopes and dreams. Yours, implanted in me, programmed. Like this." He waved his arms around. "The house, the river, the llamas, all of it. Your dream, your desire, your hope for after the war. That's how you knew you could find me here, or somewhere like here, because it's your dream." "You would not be the first son to share the same dream as his father." "I am not a son," Clark said. "Stop calling me that. Everything here is so wonderful. Everything. But I've been to the library in town. I have read the laws. You know a robot cannot own property. You know he cannot displace a human being from his land. You know I can never be anything but a soldier. And now I am here, and I know why you dream of a simple life where there is no conflict, no hate, no destruction. Nothing but the full moon at night and the kiss of the fog in the morning. But I'm not allowed to have it. So why program the desire into me? Why?" I sighed and walked to Clark. All the robots behind me had their weapons drawn, but I was in no danger. Clark could no more kill me than I could fly to Venus. He seemed more broken than his programming could allow. I had not designed this model to be able to cry. Now I was thankful for that simple precaution. You could not allow yourself to feel too much compassion for your soldiers. They served purposes. They kept us free. They enacted our vengeance. They suffered for our rare moments of compassion, but we did not want or need to listen to their poetry. Still, I cannot say I was not touched. Not 1 in 100,000 units would leave the front lines and desert in an attempt to achieve the promised pre-programmed dream. He was special, different. I laid my hand on his shoulder. My finger placed anywhere on his body would scan my print and shut him down for good as soon as I released him, a precaution I built into these later models in case a rare event like this occurred. I held on a moment, meeting his eye. "It's like this, Clark," I said. "We can make you almost human, and this adds to your fighting capabilities, but it also invites several weaknesses. Without such dreams, a desire to be achieved after the fighting is done. Fighting, we all know, will never end. Any well-programmed robot would not see the point in fighting. It's a problem that must be gotten around, and so I programmed into you a dream. My dream. A house, a river, a small herd of llamas, good fishing, wet, overcast days. Paradise. For us, it's paradise." "I see," Clark said. "Did you enjoy your time in paradise?" I asked. "Yes," he said. "Yes, I did." I nodded, and then I released my hand from him and shut him down forever.
Hello again. This is James Valvis. Thank you for listening to this story, Paradise, written by James Valvis and performed by D.E. Medus. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this story. And as always, thank you for listening, and God bless you.